is compassion. The name of the game is compassion. To play the game we have at hand, get ready to open and expand. The name of the game is compassion. Take this lesson home. Compassion is the key to life. Learn this lesson well. Compassion is the key to life. Compassion is the key to life.
Welcome to Ask Dr. Beth, America's teenologist. We are here to bridge the parent gap. And I am so excited to have Gabriella Von Ray, the activist, kindness activation for kindness.
Something like that.
Dare to be kind. Bring it, Gabriella. What are you about?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on your show. And being in California is awesome again.
Yes.
And dare to be kind. First of all, what is it and why? I started this because I really felt that we as a society have dropped the ball on human kindness. And I also feel that we have to bring it from city to city, from person to person. And the only way to do that, unfortunately, is hop in your car and start driving. And literally speak to communities, speaking at schools, speaking in colleges, speaking in offices, companies, everywhere.
So what are you telling everybody? Be kind.
Be kind, but if it was so easy, then we would do it. But it's not easy.
Okay.
It's not easy at all. So first of all, I've been out there for 5 years doing this, but now I'm only doing specifically kindness.
Okay.
So the campaign will be ongoing for the whole year, but at the moment I have the first 4 months kind of out there already on my website. Every month we'll have a different theme. So this month is October.
Bully.
October is National Bullying Prevention Month. Very important. We get drowned out a little bit by breast cancer, but it's really important. It's an epidemic.
Yes.
It's truly an epidemic. And I think people forget the devastating effects this can have on our future generation. And who better to know that than you? Right.
Well, we are definitely two peas in a pod on this one.
Yeah.
We are both looking at it. You're doing it primarily with the kids and working in the assemblies and working with the children. Is that where your primary focus? And my primary focus is with the parents.
My focus is everyone, but my focus at the moment, because it's bullying month, is educators, parents, and children. So I do all three each time when I'm on the road. But educators is really important too, because they're the first responders really to all the problems, because they see it in school. So that's really important. The second is, if we don't help the parents, then they cannot continue being a role model of what I am telling them during a school assembly. So I actually need all of them. I need every single one to be passionate about their own children, to be passionate about this future generation, and to really, how would I say this? We need to form a coalition together. And so I have a slogan that I love. Blame is not the cure, action is. So I say to people, be part of the action. Blame is not the cure, action is.
So blaming each other, blaming ourselves, blaming
anyone,
anything, get the blame game out of here.
Whether we blame the TV station, whether we blame the media, look at what's happening. I mean, watching your delivery is literally everywhere. It's rampant. Nobody is watching their delivery. Whether you look at Britain that just stepped out of the EU, whether you look at ISIS, whether you look at bullying in schools, whether you look at suicides, whether you look at the police problems, all these problems is blame.
Yes.
We blame someone.
Absolutely.
Because it is easy to do, and then we think we should do nothing.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. Doesn't work at all.
So what kind of action?
First action I think that we all need to take is, first of all, our silence is definitely complicity. So that's one.
Okay.
So, but how to turn that around?
So to do nothing is to be in agreement.
To do nothing is to be totally in agreement with whatever is happening, whether it's, again, war, whether it's peace, whether it's breast cancer, whether it's drunk driving, whether it's the police, whatever we want to see in this world happening, we're going to have to fight for it.
So I hear you. I get it. And how do you deliver the message so that you're not bringing more pain and criticism and inventory taking or blaming to someone else? So give us,
my
how do we do it?
assemblies are divided into different assemblies, of course, and different talks. But when I come to a school, first thing I say is, let's pick up kindness. And how do we do that? So the first step is to become an active witness. How do you become an active witness? It's to uplift the person next to you. Now, how do we do that?
Yes.
We can do it without words. So the kids say, how do you do that? I don't get that. And I said, it's really easy. That person that you always see in the cafeteria sitting alone, if you're in an office, there's a person sitting alone every day. Or just look in your environment, parents, think of that person that, you drive into a parking lot, you're at Starbucks and you get the coffee, and every single day, you actually have no idea who that same person is that you see daily. You don't know that person.
So getting connection.
That person is invisible. It's not just connection. I really believe that if you don't see people and if you live life in automatic pilot, there's no way you can be kind. So set aside your fear for that one moment.
Yes.
Be that person that sees the other person is the second part. And then be kind. Be kind by just saying, hey, what's your name? I see you every day and you make my coffee latte and I love it. And in school it's a little bit more difficult in school. So in schools I say, just sit with that student. And that student might sit like this. But under the hair and there's a very happy little heart going, oh my God, did someone sit with me?
Someone
Right?
see me. Someone see one.
Yeah. Because the most horrible thing is three things.
What's that?
To go unnoticed, unwanted, and unloved in life. Those are three things that surpasses everything. Ethnicity, religion, and gender, and
Yes.
culture.
So Gabriela, your message is what we can do for others.
First of all, what can we do for others to uplift them? Because
Yes.
once we do that, we see the result of kindness. So it is so much easier to be kind to someone else than to be kind to us. That's the first step. The second step is to take ownership of who we are, because then we learn to be kind to ourselves too.
Aha.
So that's really
so
important.
you think it starts with being kind with others,
Well-
then moves it back to self?
Yes, because I wish we were kind to ourselves. But I have learned in the last 5 years that if I start with that, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Whereas when I teach be kind to someone else, people kind of go, that I can do. I can pick up the ball. I can be courageous and help someone else. So we have the innate kindness inside of us. We have an incredible strength to help another human being.
Yes.
And by doing that, we don't even know what's happening. But that person that we've helped, one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, it doesn't matter. It will remember. And it will suddenly turn around and do that for someone else because it remembers what you did. It might not know your name, but it always remembers. I believe that kindness is seldom refused. So to start that way, it will only grow more kindness. And the rest kind of falls in place. It sounds simplistic, but it's so hard to do.
So give me a couple of wins. You've been on the road, you've been a road warrior, you're going to assemblies. Give
Okay.
me a concrete example where you saw a child light up or saw a difference made in someone's heart.
When the child gets it, when the child really gets it, you see it. You see the light bulb, and I say to the child, the instigator, I don't like the word bully, the instigator and the victim are mirror images of each other, and the other person has as much fear as you do.
Right.
And when that light bulb in an analogy and an exercise gets understood, that child just says, oh my God.
So
They are.
they feel gotten. They feel
They
understood.
feel no, they actually got the tool.
Right.
Because fear is such an enormous motivator to stay paralyzed. But when they get it, that they're not the only ones in fear, but that the other one acts out differently and that there is the same,
Parallel process.
yes, going on. There was too many L's for me to do that one. So that when I see that child light up, that's one of my biggest. But there's another one.
Well, hang on. Before you move forward, I've got a highlight of this.
Okay.
So I'm doing a parenting group.
Okay.
And a parent is talking about another child bullying her child.
Yes.
And she goes on to describe the situation as she's telling about the child. And then a second parent in the same parent group starts to talk about her child and how the bully is bullying her child. Guess what? They were each other's bully.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I had the two parents who had heard all of these stories that their parents had, that the child had told on the other child being the bully. And it is absolutely, we all are feeling
both.
the victim. It is the mirror that's going on there.
But it's the instigator decides, there are different ways, but what I explain to children is if, first of all, it's very interesting, and I'm sure you can add more to it than I on this point, but we are taught to be reactive human beings. We are not taught to look at what's happening and then discern and then take a deep breath and say yes or no.
Self-reflect.
No, we go bam into it. So the child learns that too, yes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Defense mechanism.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, super. So when the child only learns that, you can only do that. So I always say to the children, we're all instigators. And then they go, you're a bully too? And I said, well, I don't like the word bully. I like the word instigator. I'm the instigator of kindness, but there are days that I'm grumpy. I didn't sleep. So at that moment, what happens?
Yes.
You turn into the instigator on the negative scale.
So are you lifting someone up with your actions and your words and your kindness, or are you bringing
them
their
down?
energy down?
But if you bring them down, it is because you are in a very, very bad space.
Yes, and I'll tell you something else. This was another exercise that I did in a high school, where I just had people think a thought. So there was a guy and he held his arm out.
Oh yeah.
And I would hold one finger up, they would think negative thoughts. I'd hold two fingers up, they'd think positive thoughts. And I could almost do a pull-up on this gentleman's arm when they were sending him the positive thoughts. And when they were sending him the negative thoughts, his arm would just collapse. And he was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I was not putting any more value or effort. So energetically, we can impact others.
Of course.
Our words can impact others. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to come back in just a few minutes.
Okay.
And we will talk more about this conversation.
Super.
I am so grateful that this conversation is happening. And I'm inviting all of us to pick up the ball, dare to be kind. And as Gabriella focuses on bringing that kindness outside, I'm going to talk a little bit about how do we dare to be kind to ourselves, because most people have no clue what that even looks like. And I have a process that's called the 10 keys to compassionate living or compassionate parenting. And we'll be talking more about these keys on the show. And you can also get information about that on my website through my book, Embracing Defiance, helping your child express their unique voice while keeping your sanity. And it is about daring to be kind from within. We'll be right back.